Before we start, please get a piece of paper and a pen to write your answers because the answer key is at the end of this video. Let's start. Number 1. On a vessel proceeding from a very cold to a warm climate with a cargo of a non-hygroscopic nature in the holds, which is true? A. There is little danger of ship sweat, slight possibility of cargo sweat, moderate ventilation is needed. B. There is danger of heavy cargo sweat if outside air is introduced by ventilation. C. The possibility of any sweat problem, either cargo or ship, is remote. D. Danger of heavy ship sweat exists, constant and vigorous ventilation is required. 2. What is a smooth, tapered pin, usually of wood, used to open up the strands of a rope for splicing? A. Bench hook. B. Awl. C. Batten. D. Fid. 3. To ensure proper seating when closing a valve on a tank, what position should the valve be in? A. Set up as tight as possible by hand. B. Set up tight using a valve wrench. C. Closed, opened a half turn, and then closed again. D. Closed against the stop and the locking pin inserted. 4. Which of the following is a block having two sheaves of different diameters, placed in the same plane one above the other? A. Block snatch. B. Bobstay. C. Block cheek. D. Block fiddle. 5. When you are securing a steam reciprocating pump, which valves should you leave open? A. Steam cylinder drain valve. B. Steam exhaust valve. C. Water cylinder drain valve. D. Steam supply valve. 6. What is a joint formed when two steel plates are placed end to end? A. Seam. B. Butt. C. Bench. D. Bevel. 7. How is the minimum bursting pressure for each cargo hose assembly determined? A. 3 times the sum of the relief valve setting and the static head. B. 4 times the sum of the relief valve setting and the static head. C. The sum of the relief valve setting and the static head. D. Twice the sum of the relief valve setting and the static head. 8. Routine maintenance on a central control room hermetically sealed eye. Conditioning unit should include: A. Recharging the system. B. Changing the air filter. C. Changing compressor lubricant and renewing container vacuum. D. Power supply failure. 9. Which is an inclined platform, fitted at the intersection of the forward weather deck and the shell, for stowing an anchor? A. Orlop deck. B. Poop deck. C. Billboards. D. Forecastle. 10. Before doing any work on a hydraulic system equipped with accumulators, you should: A. Bleed of all stored energy from the accumulators. B. Completely charge the accumulators to prevent system energy loss. C. Pump the hydraulic fluid into the accumulators to prevent fluid loss. D. Drain the accumulators and purged with oxygen. 11. What is an accidental grounding of a vessel? A. Squatting. B. Grounding. C. Breaching. D. Stranding. 12. Containers of flammable solids should be conspicuously labeled by the shipper with a: A. Yellow label. B. Red and white label. C. Orange label. D. Green label. 13. Why does many of the micrometers are equipped with a Richet stop at the end of the timbal? A. Stop the spindle from sliding out off the barrel. B. Prevent the user from closing the tool with too much force. C. Click at each increment of measure. D. Eliminate Richet movement. 14. What guide the information on the treatment of illness, which are of a general nature and not predominantly concerned with chemical poisoning, may be found? A. MFAG. B. EMS No. C. UN No. D. Chemical tables. 15. Which actions are included in crane operations? A. Luff, slew, and hoist operations. B. Preparing steam on deck. C. Pre-operation of the anchor windlass. D. All of the above. 16. Which spaces are not exempt when measuring gross tonnage? A. Auxiliary machinery spaces above the deck. B. Cargo holds. C. Steering gear rooms. D. Galley in a deckhouse. 17. When fueling, It is important to ground the ship with regard to static electricity. Therefore, you must connect the A. Bonding cable before the fuel hose has been connected. B. Bonding cable only if sparks are seen. C. Fuel hose before the bonding cable. D. Bonding cable through a ground fault circuit breaker. 18. The driving force of heat transfer by conduction is best described by the A. Conductivity of heat transfer. B. Amount of Hest available in the heat source. C. Temperature difference between hot and cold regions. D. Size of the heat sink. 19. Which cargoes require strips of common building lath as dunnage in order to carry away heat generated by the cargo? A. Paper products packaged in rolls. B. Refrigerated fruit that is ripening. C. Cardboard cartons of shoes. D. Canned soups packaged in crates. 20. Which of the following is a structure built up around a mast from the beck to support the heel bearings of booms and to provide proper working clearances when a number of booms are installed on or around one mast? A. Boom topping. B. Boom table. C. Boot topping. D. Bolster plate. 21. Which statement concerning the lashings of containers with solid bar or wire rope lashings is true? A. Stack heights may be increased when using a solid bar lashing. B. Stack heights should be reduced when using a solid bar lashing. C. Solid bars should be used for lashing the first tier only, with wire lashings on the higher tiers. D. Stack weights should be less when using a solid bar lashing as compared to a wire lashing. 22. Which of the following states that the energy existing in a system as a result of relative forces of two or more objects? A. Potential energy. B. Kinetic energy. C. Relative energy. D. Pressure energy. 23. In preparation for receiving chilled reefer cargo, the reefer space has been pre-cooled for over 24 hours. Loading may begin when the space has been cooled to a temperature between A. 10 F 23 degrees Celsius and +10 F minus 12 degrees Celsius. B. 42 F 6 degrees Celsius and 55 F minus 13 degrees Celsius. C. 28 F minus 2 degrees Celsius and 40 F 4 degrees Celsius. D. 12 F minus 11 degrees Celsius and 20 F minus 7 degrees Celsius. 24. Which part of a conventional cargo gear rig provides for vertical control and positioning of a boom? A. Topping lift. B. Gooseneck fitting. C. Cargo whip. D. Spider band. 25. How should you signal the crane operator to move slowly? A. First tap the top of your head with your fist and then proceed to use regular signals. B. Use one hand to give any motion signal, and place the other hand motionless in front of the hand giving the motion signal. C. First tap your elbow with one hand and then proceed to use regular signals. D. Extend arm with the thumb pointing up, and flex the fingers in and out for as long as the load movement is desired. 26. Why is it necessary to transfer fuel oil to the settling tanks? For what purposes? A. Allow the sediments and water to settle. B. Heat the fuel to proper temperature for atomization. C. Filter and purify it before being pumped to the boiler burners. D. Purge any air in the fuel. 27. Which pieces of equipment are required to twin up a 30-ton pedestal cranes aboard a crane vessel? A. Portable power swivel. B. All of the above. C. 20-foot container spreader. D. Equalizing beam. 28. Who should be notified prior to starting up a crane? A. All the above. B. The engine room. C. The pumpman. D. The stevedore foreman. 29. A chain bridle is used when towing a stern because it A. Is easy to connect. B. Makes rigging a swivel unnecessary. C. Provides an effective catenary and absorbs shock due to its weight. D. Prevents the tow from yawing by the drag of the chains in a seaway. 30. Which of the following is a hatchway or opening in a deck provided with a set of steps or ladders leading from one deck level to another for the use of personnel? A. Cordage. B. Cradle. C. Companionway. D. Counter. 31. How should you signal the crane operator to lower the boom and raise the load? A. With forearm vertical and forefinger pointing up, move hand in small horizontal circles. B. Extend arm with thumb pointing downward and flex fingers in and out. C. With arm extended downwards and forefinger pointing down, move hand in small horizontal circles. D. Extend arm and point finger in the direction to move the boom. 32. The midships house of your break bulk ship is constructed with an interior stair tower from the main deck to the bridge. Under what circumstances may the doors from each deck to the stair tower be kept open when underway? A. They may be kept open if they can be automatically closed from the bridge. B. They can be kept open if the muster list station bill has personnel designated to close them in case of fire. C. They may be kept open if the ventilation or air conditioning system is shut down. D. They are to be kept closed at all times. 33. What is the term applied where one flange of a bar is bent to form an acute angle with the other flange? A. Bar angle. B. Bright. C. Bevel closed. D. Bevel open. 34. What would be prima facie evidence of unseaworthiness? A. Overstowage. B. Overbooking. C. Overloading. D. Overcarriage. 35. Which safety precautions should be observed during crane operations? A. Using the proper slings or other lifting devices during cargo operations. B. Relaying communications to port agents on the pier during cargo hoists. C. All of the above. D. Checking for proper lifting from beneath the load during cargo operations. 36. The most important rule for the safe operation of boiler is to A. Maintain the proper water level at all times. B. Check for the quality of fire. C. Clean the burners. D. Clean the strainer. 37. What is the curve representing vertical sections parallel to the central longitudinal vertical plane of the bow end of a ship? A. Brace. B. Bowsprit. C. Bow lines. D. Breast hook. 38. When there is excessive formation of frost in the evaporator coils, what should happen? A. Reduce efficiency of refrigerating plant. B. System in normal condition. C. Keep compartment cooler. D. Lessen load on compressor. 39. The normal and safest way for a sailor to be lowered in a bosun chair when descending vertically is A. By taking several turns of the gantline on a winch drum and then lower the sailor by backing off on the winch. B. For that sailor to feed the hauling part through a bosun chair hitch. C. By leading the bight of the hauling part to a rail and taking several turns, then slacking away with the bight. D. To lead the hauling part to a cleat on the mast and slacking the sailor down. 40. Which is a piece of plate adjoining the hawse hole, to prevent the chafing of the hawser against the cheek of a ship's bow. A. Bosom plate. B. Bolting plate. C. Bolster plate. D. Bobstay plate. 41. Which one of the following method of unloading a low-pressure air compressor at start-up is accomplished by A. Holding the LP discharge valve open. B. The use of a pre-charged accumulator. C. Temporarily discharging to the air receiver. D. Using a temporarily open cylinder clearance pocket. 42. If the water level cannot be seen in the lower part of the boiler gauge glass, which of the following actions must be carried out immediately? A. Blow down the boiler. B. Secure the boiler fires. C. Increase the feedwater going to the boiler. D. Check the DC heater water level. 43. You must shore up the collision bulkhead due to solid flooding forward. The bulkhead approximates an inverted triangle. The center of pressure of the shores on the bulkhead should be located A. Approximately halfway up the bulkhead. B. At the bottom of the bulkhead. C. Evenly over the surface of the bulkhead. D. Approximately 2/3 of the way up the bulkhead. 44. The process of using zinc, a metal that is resistant to atmospheric corrosion when using as coating for protecting steel, is called A. Erosion. B. Desensification. C. Corrosion. D. Galvanizing. 45. To avoid shock pressures in the fuel oil filling hoses while you are topping off tanks, the A. Hoses should be looped. B. Tank vent valves should be clear. C. Loading rate should be decreased. D. Oiler should sound all tanks continuously. 46. A kind of non-metallic minerals that can withstand very high temperatures and unaffected by steam, petrol, paraffin, fuel oil and lubricant, is the A. Steel, B. Asbestos, C. Polyvinyl chloride, D. Lignum vitae. 47. What part of the ground tackle is the most likely to develop fractures due to extensive anchor use? A. Swivel, B. Jews, harp, C. Fluke, D. Anchor shank. 48. Which can be prevented only by segregating two lots of cargo into separate holds? A. Contamination of a clean cargo by a dirty cargo. B. Overcarriage, overstowage, and short landing. C. Contamination of dry cargo by a wet cargo. D. Contamination of a food cargo by an odorous cargo. 49. How can the error be corrected when writing in the official logbook? A. Blot out the error completely and rewrite the entry correctly. B. Carefully and neatly erase the entry and rewrite it correctly. C. Remove this page of the logbook and rewrite all entries on a clean page. D. Cross out the error with a single line and rewrite the entry correctly. 50. Which is a roof-like canopy of canvas suspended above a vessel's decks, bridges, etc., for protection against sun and weather? A. Canvas roof. B. Awning. C. Sun roof. D. Backstay. 51. Which of the following statements is a true regarding crane operations? A. The crane operator and signalman must be familiar with hand signals. B. The cranes can be operated from the bridge. C. The cranes can be operated from shoreside. D. All of the above. 52. Pedestal cranes have limit switches to restrict the movement of which function? A. Swivel power limits. B. Slew travel limits. C. Slew rate limits. D. Luff rate limits. 53. What is the term applied where one flange of a bar is bent to form an obtuse angle with the other flange? A. Bevel open. B. Bevel closed. C. Angle bar. D. Bite. 54. What should be done if localized scoring is discovered on the pump shaft sleeve during routine maintenance inspection? A. Correct the cause of the scoring and install new shaft sleeve. B. Reassemble the pump and set the governor to obtain a slower speed. C. Reassemble the pump and provide more water leak off for lubrication. D. Check for parallel alignment of the sleeve eave radial faces to the sleeve bores. 55. Corrosive liquids and acids should have which kind of label? A. Skull and crossbones. B. White and black. C. Yellow and white. D. Red and white. 56. If a leak is suspected in a tube heat exchanger, what would be the first to check? A. Tightness of flared tubing. B. Fixed tube end for security in tube plate. C. Tubes plates for cracking. D. Tubes for damage. 57. Pedestal cranes have limit switches to restrict the movement of which function? A. Swivel power limits. B. Slew travel limits. C. Slew rate limits. D. Luff rate limits. 58. The best way to lift many small articles aboard your vessel is to use with A. Pallet. B. Spreader. C. Snotter. D. Barrel hook. 59. Which of the following is an outside area on a vessel's hull from bow to stern between certain waterlines to which special air, water, and grease-resisting paint is applied? A. Bosom plate. B. Boom table. C. Boom topping. D. Boot topping. 60. You are requisitioning stores for your tank vessel. What type of matches are permitted aboard? A. Phosphorus. B. Safety. C. Wooden. D. Self-extinguishing. 61. Which statement about the ventilation of bulk coal is true? A. Coal should be surface ventilated only. B. Coal should be through ventilated to remove methane and reduce the heat of spontaneous combustion. C. Coal should be ventilated only if temperatures in the center of the cargo exceed 125 degrees Fahrenheit. D. Coal should not be ventilated. All oxygen should be excluded from the cargo. 62. Before the longitudinal carriage feed of lathe is engaged, you must be certain that a carriage stop clamp is tightened. B. Thread dial indicator is 0. C. Carriage clan screw is loosened. D. Spindle clutch is disengaged. 63. After installing a new hydraulic pump ENA system, what special attention should be given to the hydraulic system? A. The relief valves in the system should be readjusted. B. The system should be drained and renewed with a fluid of different operating characteristics. C. All system pressure should be readjusted. D. The filters and strainers should be checked frequently. 64. The process that occurs when heat is generated by a chemical reaction within a substance and continues to a point of ignition is known as A. Radiation ignition. B. Chemical ignition. C. Chemical combustion. D. Spontaneous combustion. 65. When must the master of a vessel log the position of load line marks relation to the surface of the water in the official logbook? A. Only when in fresh or brackish water. B. Once a day. C. At the change of every watch. D. Prior to getting underway. 66. Certain cargoes must be segregated because of their A. Destination. B. Weight. C. Danger to humans. D. Inherent characteristics. 67. A package contains nitric acid solution and is radioactive. The radiation level at the package surface is 0.36 mRems per hour. How should this package be labeled? A. Fissile class 1. B. Radioactive 2 and oxidizer. C. Radioactive 2 and poison. D. Radioactive 1 and corrosive. 68. Which of the following statements is true regarding crane operations? A. The aft cranes can be operated from the aft steering station. B. The forward cranes can be operated from the bridge. C. The crane operators and signalman must be familiar with the correct hand signals. D. Radio communications allow the crane operator to disregard the use of hand signals. 69. Which is characteristic of a special cargo? A. The cargo gives off toxic gases when heated. B. Lieutenant must be stowed on deck. C. Lieutenant is of high value or easily pilferable. D. Periodic inspection is required while in transit to prevent spoilage. 70. When a fuel oil tank is being topped off during bunkering operations, the tank valve should be closed. A. Slowly to prevent surge stresses. B. To prevent gas from escaping through the pressure vacuum relief valves. C. Rapidly to prevent overflow. D. After the shore pumps are stopped. 71. According to the regulations, what fire safety control feature is required in quick closing shut-off valves? A. Electrical cut-off switch. B. Manual cut-off switch. C. A. Water spray actuator. D. A. Fusible link. 72. In order to prevent overheating of the packing in the stern tube stuffing box, what should you do? A. The gland nuts must be tightly taken up to prevent any water leakage. B. The gland is properly adjusted to permit a slight leakage of seawater. C. Stave-type rubber seals are used. D. Cooling water is supplied from the fresh water cooling system. 73. The maximum theoretical stress that can be developed on a guy in a yard and stay rig is limited by the A. Lifting capacity of the winch. B. Position of the guy. C. Weight of the load. D. Location of the boom. 74. Which is a black tar-like composition largely asphalt containing such other ingredients as rosin, Portland cement, slate lime, petroleum that is used as a protective coating in ballast and trimming tanks, chain lockers, shaft alleys, etc. A. Base asphalt primer. B. Bitumastic. C. Base primer. D. Base petroleum primer. 75. How should you signal the crane operator to lower the boom? A. With arm extended downwards and forefinger pointing down, move hand in small horizontal circles. B. With hands clasped in front of your body. C. Extend arm with the palm down, and hold this position rigidly. D. With arm extended and fingers closed, point thumb downward. 76. Required to work in an area where explosive gases may accumulate, you should use hand tools which are A. Approved by the Coast Guard. B. Fixed with a ferrous cover. C. High carbon steel. D. Non-ferrous. 77. Which of the following statements is a false regarding a twin pedestal crane set? Congratulations. The cranes may finish this competency. Please check your answers through this answer key. And don't forget to share this blessing to others. God bless you always. D. The cranes may be operated independently.